Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Set
The world is wide. Let's make it closer. With smart planning and a touch of magic, Ash knows travel. Welcome to the future of travel. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I share trainings, walkthroughs, and insider tips to help travel advisors book smarter and build confidence. And tonight's training is all about my top content creation secrets. I'm going to go in and just kind of share with you guys with what's working now, why it works, and how you can implement it. I'm giving you all the tea tonight, so you're definitely going to want to make sure that you share this with your teams. Let everybody know that I'm live so we can get in and get to work. So, speaking of being live, you should know the drill here. If you are here, go ahead and comment hello so that I know that you're with me. And if you happen to be watching this on a replay, I still want to know that you stopped by. So make sure you comment replay in the chat so that I know that you were here. And of course, go ahead and tap that like button for the video. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and tap the bell so you never miss any of the notifications from when I do go live. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? I have a lot of good stuff to show you. And what I'm showing you tonight, what I want to say is that what I'm showing you tonight, I'm not showing it to tell you exactly how to do this. That's not ever going to be my goal. I think that all of our pages, like no matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever that is, all of our pages work differently and our algorithms are different and our niches are different and whatever, all of that, right? So my goal for tonight is to show you what's working for me, okay, and why it's working. And I want you to just take parts of this and then find a way that you can implement it yourself to basically help you guys get more bookings. That's really what my goal here is to just show you how you can take your social media platform and whatever you're doing now and just kind of change it around a little bit and what's working for you, make it better. That's all I'm trying to do for tonight, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into my top content creation secrets, starting off with the first one. One of the biggest things that I have had to realize I would say in the last 7-8 months is where this all started, when I got monetized on YouTube and now I'm carrying it over to TikTok, and then I'm going to start working on Instagram next. When I started doing this journey, I realized that the hardest thing that I was going through is not reaching anyone. I was just posting and posting in general, hoping that I would catch somebody happen to be scrolling by. I want to catch them. And that can work if you want to post just about general stuff and bring in your travel, etc. That can work for you, but it's harder to grab somebody's attention when you're posting too general. So what I had to do was I had to stop creating content for everyone and find the specific audience of who I wanted to talk to. Now, on Thursday, I'm going to be doing my training for how to completely niche down. And on that training, I'm going to talk about how to find your specific audience, because that is a part of your niche. So make sure you hop on Thursday so you guys can see that. But the reason I'm saying it like that is because I had to realize that I have to stop creating content for everyone, right? I'm not saying you can't book everyone. Yeah, we want to book everyone. But I had to find exactly who I wanted to talk to, okay? Now, when I started putting my content with the right audience, it became the most powerful content, speaks directly to one specific audience state at a time. That's what it did. That's exactly what it did. And I realized that when I started talking to the same person over and over and over, it became easier to book them because they kept seeing the same content over and over and over, right? When you're trying to talk to everyone the same way, you actually get diluted in your message and you are going to end up converting no one because it's too general of a message. And I know it's kind of hard to explain it this way, but I'm going to just show you because it's just easier, okay? So about 3 weeks ago, I sat down and honestly, my TikTok's always done pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. Even when I was posting to general people, like this is my general post, they do pretty good. Okay. So I don't really have a content issue. Like no matter what I really talk about, typically does well. But the problem is that I was getting views, I'm getting engagement, but I'm not getting conversions. Like all of this is not converting content. Okay. I did get a group cruise from this one to be exact. That is one of the ones I did a group cruise from. They're going in February. So it does work, but it's harder to pull people in this way because it's just too basic of a message. Like 1 minute I'm talking about cruises. Next minute I'm talking about traveling with your bestie. This is an audience and this is a type of travel. That's two different things. Thing I'm talking about next is going from work. That's partying kind of like, right? Not the same thing. Back to cruises. Now I'm back over here at Disney. Now I'm back to cruises again. Now I'm making another meme, and then boom, truth about Expedia. What was that, right? Like my content just had no general direction and it was really affecting me. And I actually gave up on TikTok for a while. I was just like, okay, bye TikTok. I don't even want to talk to you right now, right? So I'm going to show you what happens when I started to just talk to one specific audience. After my most viral video right here, this one, the freakiest resort video, okay, I kind of realized that's kind of what I needed to talk about because I was really good at it and I enjoyed it and it was fun and I know how to book in and right? So I just decided I'm just going to take this one specific TikTok and I'm just going to talk to one specific audience and I'm going to talk to them once a day and I'm going to talk to them about the same thing. And this is what happened. So this is the first time I did it. It was December 19th, last year, December 19th. Okay. The first one, if you go down, like 4,000 views, and I had quite a little bit of engagement, right? Ooh, somebody said, where's the nasty ones? I need to go reply to that one, right? So then I had a little bit of engagement. Oh, I lost it. Come back here. All right. Go. Oh my God. It's stuck. Okay, there we go. Then we had another one and it had 19,000. Now I know it's the exact same post. And the reason I'm doing that is just because I'm lazy. Okay. You guys can post different types of content. Video works well. There's not a specific type of content. I'm just lazy. And I was just like, if it's going to work, it's going to work. I don't care. Right. And it did. Look, 5,000. I posted the same thing once a day. And I didn't want to push I didn't want to break it. So I just left it alone once a day. It did okay. Did better. Did way better, did even better. Great, fantastic. Do you see how it's correlating? That's just me talking about resorts, adult only resorts. I did bring in cruises. It didn't affect it. So who am I talking to? This is the audience. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't really matter what I'm talking about. It's who I'm talking to. Adults only, adults only, adults only. About temptation. I even spelt that one wrong and it still got 63,000 views. Adults only, adults only, adults only. Do you see how it's correlating? Okay. That's my audience. So whoever your audience is, whether that's family, whether that's, I've referred to them, unfortunately, as old rich people, that retired community. I know that's horrible, but listen, they got the money. So we need to talk to them too. Like whoever you want to talk to, that's the problem that you guys are having. You guys are talking to everyone and trying to convert everyone to travel, but you don't want to talk to everyone. You want to talk to a specific group. Okay. Now I can do adults only and I can do tours, I can do cruises, and I can do resorts. That's a niche. Adults only is a niche, right? And I can break it down to 3 different types of travel. So I don't have to talk about the same thing all the time, but when I'm first starting to talk about it, I have to be repetitive so I can pull them in. repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. I'm giving them different types of content though. I'm not talking about the same thing every time I talk. And you guys will I tell you, how do I tell you to close the sale? First, we got to talk about something that gets them inquiring. So this was the inquiring one that first started, 138,000, right? Then I started telling them, well, before you book it, you better read this. Now I'm educating them. What's your adults only resort type? Now I'm engaging with them. Here's some cruises. What are you afraid to ask about? What are people do not realize? The difference matters. Now I'm comparing resorts. Do you see how it's different content, but it's about the exact same things over and over? That's what I'm trying to get to, okay? And the only way I can actually show it to you and explain it to you is doing it this way, because I feel like I keep telling you guys and I keep telling you, and it's like you guys are like, wait, what? Huh? Okay, this should clear it up for you. That's about as specific as I can get to it, okay? That is what I did. That when I started doing that, like, look at this, okay? We'll go back. Let me see my most popular post that I have here, okay? And this one's the 138,000. The other one's at 138 too. So I don't even know if this is the most popular one at this point, but this is the one that has the most conversions on it that I can show you. It has 149 comments. And I replied to every one of them because I have a system, remember, system, to do so, right? But all I have here is help. I have Edo, okay, information, book, interested, book. This is a viral post. This is a converting post. This is different from just getting views. I don't care about the 138,000 views. I care about all of these books that lie within inside of it. And they keep happening every day. They come in here. Somebody will comment book. Somebody, and I help them. And I either get a booking or we start talking about it. However it works, right? Somebody even said that's not the Jamaican flag. Of course not, because it's not just about hedonism. Oh, right here. That was ChatGPT, and that's not even a Mexico flag. I don't even care. Still, you guys get the idea, right? And even if that little mess up actually, like, that's not even a plane. Listen, they didn't care. Do you see how bad this post is? Look, the words are even wrong. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. 3 adult only resorts. People are too afraid, and it says something else. There it goes. Too afraid. The word afraid is twice to ask about. I spelt it wrong. The emojis are horrible. The flags are wrong. It's still converted. It's the content that they like. It's the fact that I'm talking to one specific type of audience and the content it matches. Do we understand? Okay. You guys can do this with different types of travel. It doesn't have to be just adults only. There's people that do this all the time. But what you're going to realize is that it's bringing it back to the exact same people with the exact same information, just worded differently. That's all it is. Okay. Now, knowing where your audience stands is going to help you pick what types of content to choose. And that is what you'll see with my content. Cold audience, they don't know you yet. So that's just brand new. They're scrolling. They need to see something that's going to grab their interest. Inspiration normally works for them. Warm audience is when I'm trying to educate them. And then the hot audience is where I start posting sales. A lot of my sales, I post in my stories and they will reply back to my stories. I always post them in my stories because those people are already following me. So I don't need to post like the sales, like sale after sale after sale. Actually, I don't post any sales and I still get sales. But the reason I post them in my stories because those people are already following me. So they just need to see that. That's what they need to see, right? I don't have to do just sales. But what I do sometimes is when I post some of these like carousels that I'm doing, I'll slip a mock booking in between them. So I do that too. But those are the type of people that you have to realize who I'm talking to. So if I go back to my TikTok one more time, because that's just the platform I'm really working on right now, I'll be honest with you. But let's look at this. So read this before you book an adult only resort. This is a new audience. These are people that don't know me. What's your only adult only resort? These are warm. This is how I can tell who wants to book because they're going to answer this. Unfiltered adults only cruise. This is for a cold audience. What people, I spelt this wrong, still did great. What people are too afraid to ask about temptation, okay? These are people that I know. These are the people that I talk to. My audience drove that post. That's what they are too afraid to ask. What people do not realize about hedonism. That's because somebody asked me if it was a swingers. And I was like, okay, hold on. Let's talk about what this actually is. There we go. Temptation versus hedonism. That's because I got 2 questions about that. So then I did invert. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. My audience is shaping my algorithm. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to post. I'm just thinking about what they've already talked about and how I can help them with that, right? Then somebody kept saying, I want to go where I have to party. Or then I had another person that was like, I don't like partying. Okay, fine. Here's doesn't mean you have to party. Here's a vibe list. Adults only resorts and who they're actually for. Same post, different content. Okay. That's what I'm doing, but I'm hitting all of those audiences in the process, right? I'm hitting my warm audience because I'm telling them, I'm educating them. I'm hitting my cold audience by telling them about new things too, okay? So that all works perfectly fine. Now, I'm going to tell you something that happened to me in the last couple of days. So there's this one resort that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about it a lot, but like I just happened to comment on one of their posts because I'm following the algorithm is starting to pull up different resorts for me that are adults only, right? So I actually commented in and said, I need to learn more about you guys. And they can come back to my page. And when they see my page, it's about adults only. I have a specific audience. Who is their audience? The same. So guess what? Now they're following me and they're actually in my DMs right now talking about how can we collaborate. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys is because they saw me and they're a very popular resort. Okay, you'll see them soon. But the reason I'm saying this is because they saw me and they can see that I have the specific audience. I have the specific niche. I'm talking about resorts. That's what they are. Like, that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay, that is where you guys have to go with that. So let's just say you want to do families. Families, I feel like, is probably one of the easiest ones to do because a lot of people have families, right? Adults only, I feel like my niche is like really just like older people that are retired. That's typically who I have as a niche, okay? So families are probably the easiest. If you want to do just families as your audience, okay, audiences or families can travel on cruises, families can travel on tours, and families can travel in all-inclusives or hotels, right? So we're going to take those three things and then we're going to break it into the family. What you don't know about going on a cruise, family edition, or what families don't know about going on their next cruise. Before you book your next tour as a family, read this. Before you go and plan the next resort, here's the best all-inclusive family resorts. Do you see how I did that? Same content, same idea, but all have one audience. Okay. Now, this is considered an audience strategy. You might not have this. You might just have a specific destination or a specific type of travel. Okay. You can do that. And I'm going to cover those strategies too. But this one, I want you to understand, guys, if you are sitting there and you're trying to talk to everyone and you're not pulling any bookings, you're not pulling any of this, you're not talking to your audience. And that's why you're not converting anyone. That's it. You can get views all day long, but if it's not converting, it's not working. That's it. Okay. Now, your niche tells you what to say. Yes, that's the second part. My niche is adults only. Right now it's resorts because my TikTok plan says I can only talk about one thing at a time. So right now we're covering resorts. And then when I get uncomfortable about that, I'm going to bring the cruises back in and I'll bring in the tours. Okay. But your niche will tell you what to say. I told you guys, you can stop guessing what to post, right? Your niche is already decided on the content strategy for you. So my niche is adults only travel. So they are telling me what to say. That niche is it's going into place. So for example, if we go back here, okay, my niche is about adults only resorts for now. It's really just adults only travel, but I'm talking about the same thing. So here's the resort type, cruises, adults only. Adults only resort, adults only resort, adults only resort. Here it is again. Here it is again. Like it's the same things. Even if I go up further, adults only resorts, people book wrong. Drop your favorite for others to see. Temptations Cancun, another adults resort. It's the same thing. Adults only, not one vibe. What people are afraid to ask. Most people book this wrong. Stop booking the same. Okay. Do you get where we're going? Right. And I know they're all carousels and I'm going to put videos in there eventually, but this was during Christmas and I was way too busy. So I just scheduled a carousel every single day because I didn't care. I was just like, if it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. It worked. It was weird. Okay. But I'm going to tell you, I have seen people come along and they tried to do the exact same thing and it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work for you, that's fine, but try it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It works, it works. It doesn't. Okay. You tried it. Right. But this is just how it kind of played out. Now I'm going to tell you that regardless if you do it in a video, even if I take the same type of content and I post it in a video format, it will still work. Why is it that it will still work? Same audience, same niche, same things I'm talking about, right? So that is what it's trying to really comes down to. I just clicked on LinkedIn. Oh my goodness. Hold on. What happened? Niche. Oh, no. There we go. Okay. I closed the whole thing out. So your niche will tell you what to say. You don't have to guess about what to post. If you're in that sentiment where you're like, what do I have to post? I don't know what to post every day. Talk to ChatGPT. Tell it exactly what you want to sell. Tell it exactly how you want to talk to them, who you want to talk to. It'll all help you decide what needs to be focused on. Okay. But the niche determines your topics. It determines your tone because it's going to determine who you talk to. Also, which platforms you prioritize and what examples resonate. Okay. So the reason I say that is because not all niches work on all platforms. That's just the truth. Some people here will be more successful in person because that's how their niche works. Some people here will be more successful on Facebook because that's how their niche works. That's fine, but it all relates back down to the same thing. Who you're talking to and your niche is determining what you're posting. If you post something that doesn't serve your audience or serve your niche, it doesn't work. I don't care what platform you're on. That's just the basis of it, right? So the smartest creators don't make content. They respond to what their audience is already asking, what they're confused about, what they're objecting to, or they're doing wrong. Do you see how I did that? That's exactly what my posts are, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't do this until you book your next trip. Hedonism versus temptations. I'm doing that for them. They want to know what the difference is. You could even do that. Let's just say you want to do luxury travel only. Okay. You can do explore journeys, which is a very luxury cruise, versus carnival. There's a big difference between those, but people don't know that, right? That's still the same audience. I'm still talking to my specific audience, but I'm telling them the difference between that. Okay. Don't book your next luxury cruise until you know about this. Don't book your next luxury cruise until you've learned about these top cruise lines that are luxurious. Okay. Like no matter what place I'm taking it, okay, it's still the same type of content. It's just put in a different setting. Okay. So I used ChatGPT for this in the beginning, and now my audience does it for me. Okay. But questions, what are they asking repeatedly? What are they constantly talking about? If you have somebody ask you something about a cruise, turn that into a post. Great. Objections, what holds them back? I have this a lot, especially for my niche, because people get nervous about booking the freaky adult resorts. So I have a lot of that. Okay. But what would hold somebody back from booking that all inclusive that you want them to be interested in? Whatever that fear is, comment. Make them know that you are safe to book with and you can handle it for them. Okay. Confusion, where do they get stuck? And then mistakes, what are they doing wrong? So now that the niches, we're talking about our niche, we're getting very specific on it, and we're answering all of these things for them, right? So what does this all pull back on? That question that they're asking repeatedly, that's something that they're feeling, right? Their confusion, that's a feeling. Their objections, also a feeling, right? And then it comes down to mistakes and how they feel when they make them. They don't want to do that, right? So all of this pulls into one type of deal. And that brings me to the next one. Emotion-driven content. That's what that is. That's exactly how I'm pulling in. Every time I pull somebody in with these posts right here, that's what this is, right? Read this before you book. Oof, I better read this. I better read it right now before I book anything. Hold on, stop. What's your adult-only resort type? This is a warm post. That's why it doesn't do as good. That's not the same, right? That's not. Let me go back over here. Did you know this? That did good. Oh, I didn't know that. Let me open it. What are people too afraid to ask about? What people do not realize. Here's the difference. This is a warm post, but since these other posts are doing so good, this one naturally does too. Adults only doesn't have to mean party. Oh, what? I didn't know that. Let me see what it means. Who they're actually for. Ooh, let me open it and see if it's for me. Do you see these are emotions, how I'm pulling them? Okay. Whenever I talk to ChatGPT and I tell it to make me something, like when it comes to my posts, that's one thing I always say. What can I do to basically pull them in? It's like a soft rage bait is what it is. You don't want to rage bait them too much because it'll just irritate you. But you want to get to a point where they're commenting and engaging. Like when I see something, I want to comment on it, right? If I want to comment on it, that's making it convert. So get something that's kind of pulling them in. That's going to be like, oh, wait, I need to see that, right? Neutral content gets scrolled past. Helpful content, it gets acknowledged. Can we agree with that, right? This is helpful content right here. This one right here, that's helpful content. It gets acknowledged, but the same thing of did you know this? That's a feeling. What are people too afraid to ask about? That's a feeling, right? So what I'm trying to say is the emotional content, that's what creates action because people want to jump on that emotion, okay? People don't move when they're comfortable. They move when they feel something powerful enough to interrupt their pattern of scrolling. Can we agree with that, right? So, being helpful isn't just enough. You have to take that helpfulness and you need to turn it into something that they have to know about, okay? You need to make people feel urgent, curious, confident, or motivated to avoid loss. Emotion, of course, I don't want you to manipulate them, okay? We're not trying to manipulate any of their feelings, but I want you to kind of bridge that gap from, okay, now I know this. What do you want me to do with it? Right? So we need to take that emotion and go, hey, fear of missing out. If you need help with it, if you're worried you can't do this, then we put that call to action. Let me help you. Right? So if I were to take something like this, I'm just going back here. Temptations versus hedonism. And we go through the whole post, right? Okay, here's the difference. It's something simple and goofy. Okay. Boom. Booking the wrong trip changes the whole thing. Save this so you don't make a mistake. Oh no, I'm so scared, right? Boom. Curious, like and follow. Okay, please follow me if you're worried about this. And if you need to learn more and you're curious about it, comment, right? That's what that does. Okay, I pulled them in with the hook because they're worried. They're like, oof, wait, what is this? Are you telling me I need to know the difference? Oh, I need to know the difference. I've heard about these resorts. Oops, I went to the next post. But then I mean, boom, temptations. Okay, this is the difference. Cool. All right, hedonism. I still don't know about it, right? Okay, here's some more freaky stuff that I'm curious. Oh, wait, I don't want to book the wrong trip, right? Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to. That's the part that we have to pull that through. You could do that even with the video, okay? Temptations, you can literally just put the video behind it, put some words on the screen, put the same thing with the different resort, put some words on the screen, boom, done, right? Like, what I'm trying to get to is that you have to make them feel something in that post. And you roughly have about 30 seconds to do so. So they need to feel like that FOMO or that just like, oh, I need to act on this right now. Okay. People move when they feel something, not when they're comfortable. Okay. Look at that lady. She's shocked. We're shocked too. Okay. Now, I've already kind of showed you this, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more. This is what I'm using as my emotional strategy. I'm also pulling on the audience, but I'm taking that audience and I'm trying to pull on their emotions. So I do awareness, which is where I didn't realize that. Urgency, which is I need to do this right now. That gets the bookings. The curiosity, which is you have to realize, especially on TikTok, a lot of the times that people see you are people I've never seen before. So curiosity is, oh, I didn't even know that existed. Whoa, wait, we can do that, right? Okay, we build that. And then confidence. Oh, I can actually book this. This can actually be done for me, right? And then the loss avoidance or FOMO, as I like to call it, as I don't want to miss out or I don't want to do this wrong, okay? It's not manipulation. We're not going as far as you better do this through me. No, but it's showing them like, hey, you actually can do this and then I can take care of it for you. Okay. That's how we're bridging that gap that you guys are having with your content. Now, hold on. Still trying to recover from this flu I had. All right. So next I want to tell you guys about how I build my content plan. And it scrolls down. Okay. So you guys already know this. I stopped winging my content strategies a long time ago. I always fall back to my 3-post system. And that's exactly what that is, okay? So I do the inspiration so I can get new people. I educate them so I can make them aware. And then I bring them closer with the sale post. A lot of my sale posts aren't direct sales because I don't have to do it that way. I just have to show them something that will make them want to book. That's my 3-post structure, okay? Every time I post something, I'm posting it based off of that. But I don't base that off of the top of my head. I base that off of ChatGPT, which I use intentionally. I do not write my captions. I do not write my hashtags, but I basically use ChatGPT just to architect my entire content system. I have an entire just niche plan that we go through daily, okay? I use the AI to identify which audience stage piece serves. So if I'm trying to get new people, I tell it I need to post to help me bring in more people. If I'm doing something warm, like I'm going to tell you an example. You guys will post something and then you'll get mad because it flops. And that happens a lot, especially on TikTok. But you guys have to realize that those flopping posts, they serve a purpose too. They actually are what we call warm-up content. So going viral, I'm going to show you guys, is kind of like on a, oh no, I lost it. It's kind of like a spiral. So let me show you how it works, okay? So that top post that I had 138K, right? So I was on a viral spiral at that point. So when you're on a viral spiral, it'll build up. So it'll be like regular post, and then viral. Regular post, viral. Now I'm on a deep spiral. So it'll go viral, 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 and then it will fade out again. And now we're posting, we're gliding, boom, viral again. And it'll play out, okay? There's posts in between. They don't look as important because you see the really big numbers, but they serve a purpose, okay? If I went viral here and I didn't have anything about this or this, they would have nothing to watch. The reason why these two did so well is because this one went viral and then they had this one to learn about. Then they had that one to learn about. Oh, look, now there's cruises. Let me learn about that, right? How many times have you been like on TikTok, right? And when you're on TikTok, you open someone's page and you start watching more of their videos, right? Okay, that's what that is. That's what that purpose serves. So even if this one does well, but this one actually didn't do well at the beginning, they all still serve a purpose. So still keep posting that different types of content. Even if it doesn't do well, it still has a basis. So when you actually do better, when you're actually going viral, they have something to come back to, right? And you can see it here. It went viral, but these two didn't do so well. But this is still something that they can come back to, right? So it's very important to always keep posting and to keep that 3-post system because you don't know who you're going to hit, okay? So inside my AI, we talk about that. We talk about how to build that specific platform. I told exactly I'm using this just for TikTok. This is what I want to do on TikTok. Here's my goal, okay? I told the plans. We've come up with a strategic balance between warm-up content with action driving posts, okay? So some of them will be big, like this is the difference. Some of them will pull people in. Some of them will just educate. Like it has just different types of purpose, but it all has the same idea behind it, okay? This prevents that exhausting random posting, and it's way more effective than trying to figure out what you're going to post every day. Can we agree with that, right? Strategic planning scales. That's where I'm trying to get to, okay? So I identify my audience stages, identify what they're asking about, identify how to hit them. Then I tell that ChatGPT, I make a plan, and then I do a content mix balance, okay? Content gets easier when you stop winging it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, with that, okay, now this says not every post is a call to action, but it should say not every post is a sale because the reason I want to say it's not every call to action is what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to sell travel every single time. And I kind of hint on that a lot with you guys, but sometimes you kind of miss it when I try to say it. What I'm trying to say is that some of your posts need to be warm-up posts where they're building trust. When you demonstrate expertise, no asking, just straight value, that is like the foundation of it, okay? You have to have those posts in between the action posts or they have nothing to come back to. Now, every post of mine has a call to action. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is that not every post I'm making is about having an action. I'm not asking them to book on every single post, right? I'm not saying you have to book. Like, for example, right here, let me just pull one up here. Okay, this was a good one. Adults only resorts and who they're actually for. Now I'm just talking about just different types of resorts. I'm not trying to sell anybody any of this, right? I'm not selling them. I'm just telling them about the resorts. That's it. There's temptations, hedonism. Okay, but it still has the same call to action post, right? I'm still doing the call to action, but I'm not forcing anything down their throat that says, you better book this resort, right? Now, this would be a little bit different if we were to do, I don't really think any of mine are really too deep into call to actions, I want to say. Now, this one would be kind of a deep into call to action, right? Read this before you book. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Booking the wrong one. Curious. No, I feel like some of them, I don't know. Some of them are more call to action of a sort of you need to book this now, and then some of them are just meant to educate. Do you guys understand that? That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and sell people on every single post. That doesn't work. Now, the ones that sell will typically go viral, yes, but you have to have the warm up post in between it to carry out that virality, or it'll just die right within that post. Okay, so you can't sell to strangers effectively on social media. The platform doesn't work that way. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. You can't just go, all right, sell, 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 sell. It doesn't work that way. It won't, it just will die within the side of the post. Okay. Your content strategy needs to warm people up first and then an action. And that's exactly how I do, like the inspiration, the education, and then the sales. Do it over and over and over, just like that. Now, sometimes if you're on like a high sales virality, yeah, switch it up, right? But you have to have that warm up to people so they can see you first before you just go, okay, let's do a booking. Okay. They need to see you a few times before they do a booking. So selling cold doesn't work. It just burns out your reach. You don't sell to strangers. You warm them first. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. All right. Now, next with that, every post has a direction, which means it all has a call to action. It all has an idea at the end of it. Okay. Content without a call to action is a missed opportunity. Now, just because that call to action, like for example, like give me one of my posts here. Yeah, no, this works. Okay. So I just gave you guys this example, but so read this before you book an adults only, right? Still has the call to action, but the call to action is a soft one. It's not like a you better book with me. It's more like a, oh, are you curious? Like and follow. That's a call to action, right? Comment to learn more. When these people are commenting, which I haven't replied to them, ironically, but when they commenting, if I go into their DM, which I will, I'm not going to say, hey, you want to book a resort? No, I have to warm them up, right? So from this, I would say, okay, well, they're interested in a resort, but they need help. So, hey, I want to match you with the perfect adults only resort. Can you tell me a little bit more about blah, blah, blah? That's what I do. That's a warm post. This is not a you better book with me, right? That's what I'm trying to get to. Now, if I go to something like this, where it's like, this specific resorts. Okay. Let me read the whole post. Education, assumptions, curiosity, means anything. So when they're commenting book, this means they actually want to book. That's the difference between this. Okay. Like it's still on the table. Which one we choose depends on which one you're partying, heading there. Okay. If they say help, I just sent you a DM. Like, do you guys understand where I'm going? Like some of them are going to be more like directly, I want you to book, but you still want them to have that like and follow, save, whatever feature, okay? Every post has to have some type of call to action on it, okay? Now, if you don't tell people what to do next with your post, they won't do anything. So you need to tell them to either like it, follow it, save it, whatever. They'll consume and they'll appreciate it, but they still scroll on. So you have to have a continuing action to make sure they get pulled back to your algorithm, okay? My preferred call to action is always comment based because then I can go to their DMs. I don't like telling people to go to the links in the bio because that sends them off the platform and it kind of defeats the purpose. I need engagement on my post. So I always tell them to comment, book, or like and follow for real adult answers is what I call it. But any type of like and follow helps, any kind of share helps, any kind of commenting helps, okay? Now, I will tell you that comments are my favorite because it drives the algorithmic reach. I will have videos go viral over and over and over because I'm commenting on them and it's bringing it back to the algorithm. So comment, it brings the reach up, it starts conversations, and that's where those warm-up posts kind of play along because it's going to show them that I'm not just trying to sell you something, I'm actually trying to educate you, okay? Every comment is a micro commitment that builds a relationship momentum. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. So with my posts, they all have the same type. They have a hook with the value, they deliver insight, they direct with the call to action, and then the engagement is in the comments. And I will show you that now. So go here, same post. I don't really care. They all have the same thing. There's the hook, 3 adults only resorts people are too afraid to ask about. It's the same hook that's on the post. That works great. Now, adults only travel. I'm doing the value. I'm educating. This page exists, not just shock. Now, it's actually missing the call to action on it right here. But because I have the call to action here, works fine. Okay. Even if it's not in the caption itself, the call to action is on the screen. And they did exactly what I told them to do. I told them to like and follow. From this post alone, guys, I posted this on December 18th. I've gotten over 1,000 followers from this post alone. Okay. And I feel like it's really just the type of content and the way I post it, because you see how this one has a song, right? And I also tagged the resort in here. I tagged a random resort, so that kind of helped. But if you go to, there's this pic. This is one I did. Let me find it real quick. Watch this. I think this one. Yeah. Okay. Do you see this? Nope, it's not this guy. Hold on. Let's go. There's one where I messed up and I didn't attach any music to it at all. Yeah, right here. You see how it says original sound, unfiltered travel? Okay, that's no sound. There was no sound on this at all. And even with no sound, okay, it had a little bit of likes, it had some engagement and some saves. The saves is very well because that means they'll come back to it. But the funny thing is what I'm trying to tell you is that it didn't even need music. I can't sit here and be like, you have to have music on your post or it won't do well. That's not true either, because this one did perfectly well and it had no music to it whatsoever. It was so stupid. Yeah, see, something went wrong. Yeah, because there's no music attached to it. Oops. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is as long as it has the same idea, same topic, same everything going to it, it will do well even without music, because it has that direction, it has that goal, and it tells them exactly what to do with the post. Okay. Now, comments create momentum. I told you guys that. We don't have to go over this whole thing, but I like to do the comments because that's what helps drives the post. I have one of these TikToks that I did a long time ago, and I know I'm just showing you guys TikTok. I don't feel like pulling up 5 platforms. You guys can figure it out. It's all kind of the same, right? But there's this one TikTok that I have that, oh my God, it drives me crazy. You guys remember this? I always talk about this guy. This one right here, okay? This one still to this day. I posted this on September 27th of 2024. Wow. Okay. It's been a whole year since I posted this. This one to this day still goes viral. You can see the replies, but I just had someone the other day, 1 day ago, somebody's commenting on it. Okay. These posts, they still do well, and it's because of the comments. And I tell them here, and I tell them somewhere throughout the post where I like right at the end where I tell them like to comment if you want to know more or something like that. I don't remember what I say in here. But it was just something silly, right? But it created a lot of curiosity, obviously, too. What is garden? People want to know what that is. Look at these nasty words. Okay. But like what I'm trying to say is like you can still go viral over and over on a post just because of the comments. That's what I'm trying to get to you, because every time somebody comes on here and comments, it brings it back to life is what it does. So I always recommend doing the comment call to action because it pulls that momentum back to a video. And it's a great way to bring in warm leads. I just closed a booking for hedonism last weekend. And when I closed that booking, it was because he saw one of my posts and he commented on it. And then I ended up in his DMs. We started talking, and then I booked hedonism, and now he's booking a Virgin Voyage cruise. So what I'm trying to say is that comments aren't just vanity metrics. They're the beginning of the conversion funnel. So I highly recommend doing a comment call to action somewhere on there. I still do like and follow, but it definitely needs a call to action for comments. Okay. Lastly, a couple of things that I want to talk about too is when I'm posting, it matters. This is probably one of the biggest things that I see you guys mess up on. Okay. You need to talk to ChatGPT. I don't care who you use. Talk to them and come up with a plan, because when I post, it makes a difference. If I post at a bad time, it doesn't do well. My audience doesn't respond to it. So it's very important to figure out what time works for your audience specifically. Okay. Now, I can never give you a generic best time to post. I used to do that back in the day, but I just feel like specific niches need different times. The time that I'm talking to my adults only people is not the time that you're talking to your family people. So every audience behaves differently based on their demographics, their time zones, their work schedules, their platform habits, right? So I guess basically what I did in the beginning is I talked to ChatGPT and I asked them what's the best time for me to post. And then I guess kind of tested it relentlessly. I changed it up a few times. I went a couple of days without posting. I went a week straight with posting at the same time. Like I measured it myself and then I followed my audience actual behavior of when they were commenting. The more times I got a lot of more comments, I was like, okay, they're popular at this time. I need to write this down, right? Like I needed to actually learn my audience behavior. And that's what kind of dictates what time I post. Now, mine for me is at 8:30 at night. It's so random, right? I used to tell you guys all the time, don't post at night. But that doesn't work for every niche. So I will retract that statement and tell you, figure out what works for your specific niche. And I'm going to tell you with that too, is what's working for me right now. Okay. You don't have to post a bajillion times on a platform. You really don't. I do the 3-post system. I use that mostly for Facebook and Instagram. It can work on TikTok too, but I feel like TikTok is just Facebook and Instagram are easier to schedule post on. So you could do content-based posts a lot, 3 times a day. Perfect. That's easy. But for TikTok, that's too hard for you. It's too hard. Unless you want a full-time job as a TikTok creator, don't do that. Okay. Do what works for you and what's comfortable for you. And that's what you'll excel in. If it's easier for you to do 1 video a day, that's fine. But still consistently show up. If that's what you want to do, 1 video, then just do 1 video. But make sure you're doing at least 1 video, right? That is what's working. Okay. So what's working for me right now, basically just a summary for you guys, because we are pretty much at the end, but audience first. When I realized who I needed to talk to, that helped. Platform specific intentional post. I'm using that specifically on TikTok, those little carousel things. Those are working right now. They're probably not going to work next week or the week after. That's fine. I have to change it up, right? But for right now, that's what's working for me. I'm not going to get on here and tell you guys like that's going to work for you too. I can't tell you that. It might work, it might not work, okay? But that doesn't mean that TikTok doesn't work at all. Some of you guys can make videos after videos and they'll go viral over and over and over because you're talking to the same people about the same contents. That's what's going viral. That's what works. Talking to the same audience with emotional driven messages, with specific platform content that you're intentionally posting with a clear call to action. That's what's working right now. Okay. Definitely work on your comment-based engagements, work on your timing, and work on the quality and the consistency of your post, okay? Clarity beats chaos. Content works when it's intentional. Stop randomly posting. Start building strategically, okay? Your audience is waiting for content that speaks directly to them. So give them exactly what they need when they need it with clear direction on what to do next with it, okay? That is what's working for me right now. So I hope I helped you guys some. I'm sorry if it's not like my usual trainings. I feel like they're way more organized. But the thing is that when it comes to teaching you guys about TikTok and, just either Instagram or Facebook, etc., it's very hard. And you'll see a lot of trainers don't teach on what they're doing on TikTok because it can change tomorrow. Like no matter what I'm teaching you, it cannot work for you. Like I can't sit here and say, okay, this carousel is going to work for you. I can't guarantee that. It's just not. It might, right? You could try it, but if you don't post it specifically for your audience, if you don't post it specifically with your right intentions to talk directly about your niche, it doesn't matter what type of content you post. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys, okay? That's what you want. I want you to get from that. You need to figure out your audience. You need to make sure you're completely niche down. If you're not, join me on Thursday, okay? And then start posting that clarity content that your specific audience needs, okay? Now, tie that in with the clear call to action. Make sure they're liking and following you and they're saving your post. You see my call to actions all throughout that post, right? Then give them that comment-based engagement so you keep your virality going. You keep that. The more they comment on it, the more people are going to see it. So that is what I'm trying to get to you tonight, okay? Clarity beats chaos. So I hope you have a lot more clarity after watching this. I'm going to head over to my studio now. So if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them there. But I hope this helped. If this did help, make sure that you like this video, that you share this video with your team, and comment. Let me know if this helped you. If you feel a little bit better, let me know in the chats, okay? And show me what you guys are working on. Okay, I want to see what you're working on. So that is all I have for you tonight. I'm going to head over to my studio now so I can check out all of the cool stuff, and I will see you guys there. Make sure you guys join me on Thursday. I'm going to show you guys how to completely niche down so you stop posting about random stuff. All right, so have a good evening, and I will see you guys on Thursday.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.